Hey, sales pros, welcome back. Remember last time we talked about buying decisions. What drives your customer to buy and how do they reach those decisions? So last time we talked about logical. There's two parts to this, right? There was a logical part. We spent some time on that. What's the logic? What are the practical things that people look at when they purchase a new vehicle, an RV, a power sport product, really anything? We're going to talk today about the emotional part of this. And this is basically the feelings. I can attest to you after almost 4 decades in the auto industry that a majority of what you do is emotional. In fact, there's studies that show that your brain really can't tell you why you bought something. Yeah, there's practical, logical reasons to do it, but it's an emotional thing that people go through to purchase a vehicle, okay, or an RV or power sport, etc. So you're going to see some operative words in here that I've underlined in red, but it really comes down to four basic areas. Feelings, for example, about a brand. So what are their feelings based on? Past experiences, maybe it's something that they owned before, maybe it's something that someone else owned. I had a recent experience where a relative of mine, when I was trying to help them figure out what car they might want, I asked them, what don't you want? And they named off four vehicles that they've never even owned because of experiences our families had with that brand. So it can be not just their own experience, it could be experiences from relatives, friends, etc. Or reviews they may have read. Remember, in the logical side, we talked about reviews. If people have read reviews and they've cemented it in their head that there's something wrong with that vehicle, you should be the student of your product, okay? Emotions. Again, it's all about feelings, right? Is it something, is it joy? Are they afraid? Do they trust you, the product, the dealer? Is it nostalgic? Years ago, they released a car called a PT Cruiser. It looked like something from the 30s and 40s. I can attest to you that the primary driver behind the purchase of that vehicle was its looks and the feelings it brought out in people from that era. They either grew up with a car like that, they owned a car like that, and that car, it was driven purely by emotion. Pride, maybe they don't want to drive a Hyundai because they've always drove Lexuses or something like that, right? Or they want to be proud of the vehicle they drive and they want the most expensive, optioned out, blinged out vehicle that you offer, okay? Empathy, they're all triggers, right? Maybe they have empathy towards something because that's what they've always had or that's all they feel like they're worth. But these are all emotional triggers, right? That's why you need to have such good rapport with your customers. You need to build that emotional bond with them so that you have a way to overcome these if they become an objection. Status and pride. Owning a certain product can make someone feel better about themselves. Maybe it's a reward. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe they've saved for years to get their dream vehicle. But it's kind of like the comparison between a Timex and a Rolex. If you can afford a Rolex, you can probably afford a Timex. Why do you wear the Rolex? It shows that you've accomplished something. It's a quality product, a very high quality product. Maybe you're a multimillionaire and you wear a Timex. I mean, it can go that way too, but usually there's a reason people wear a status symbol or they drive a status symbol, right? Kind of going back to what we talked about the logical side. Does anybody have a logical reason to own a Ferrari? Probably not, right? And again, the key word here is feel. That's where if you're watching your customer, listening, asking questions, creating that rapport, creating that bond, you're going to start seeing these things that make them feel certain ways about their vehicle, right? Why do they feel that they want or need certain features, options, colors, models, within a lineup, right? Is it the top of the line in that lineup, or is it the base entry vehicle in that lineup? Emotional comfort or nostalgia. Now, I can tell you, I've seen for years where people come in and buy, especially vehicles that have been around a long time. For example, the Mustang. Mustangs are almost 60 years old. In fact, this is their 60th anniversary. That means that generations of people could have owned that car. I mean, I'm old enough that I could have owned an original Mustang. I mean, not in 1965, I was 5 years old. But that being said, when I was a teenager, I could have owned one. So now if I want a new Mustang, oh gosh, it's going to bring back all these memories, all these fond memories of driving my Mustang, and now I'm going to get the new Mustang, right? Or maybe they owned one even 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Maybe it's a Chevy pickup or something, a Volkswagen Bug. They want the new version of that. It can evoke, again, what's our operative word? Evoke feelings of comfort or nostalgia, or my dad owned that, my grandpa owned that. I've always wanted one of these because my friends had one and we used to ride around in high school or college. So these are all emotional connections to this product. And I can tell you this, combined with understanding the practical, logical side of how the customer's brain works toward purchasing, is magic. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to meld these all together in the next video. And also, while you've been thinking about that, I hope that something in here has brought back something you have an emotional connection to, right? Maybe it's a toy. Maybe it's something you had when you were a kid, and boy, I'd really love to have that toy again to put on a shelf and remember all the times I used to play with my Hot Wheels, right? Or when maybe you've bought your dream vehicle, or you bought something. Share with us how you emotionally connected to that purchase. Why? Maybe it wasn't the most practical purchase in the world. I mean, Ferrari sells out of all their cars every year, right? So there's something there, right? So let us know, and let's start comparing notes. And in the next round of this little series, we're going to talk about ways you can meld those all together, and it is sales magic, I promise you. See you on the next one.